Hey, very good evening to all of you. Thanks for staying back, and I assure you that there's going to be a special bonus for you if you stay on. So I'm going to make this as fast as possible, but just a quick show of hands. How many of you here are serious game developers? Okay, cool. How many of you here are interested in gamification? Cool. And how many of you think serious gaming and gamification is not the same? Great. Awesome. So I'll just move ahead. So let me talk a little bit about myself. What is that? Okay. So why am I standing over here? I think first and foremost, I co-founded a company that's entirely focused on gamification. And I look around Asia, there are not a lot of guys like me. It's a very lonely world over here. So I'm happy to see quite a few guys of you here. And I'm pretty crazy about playing in real life. My passion has always been about how you can bring games to the real world, because I couldn't find enough time to play. And my early gamification adventure started with Fame, right? It's actually a gamified dating website. And for most of you, who have not been on the dating websites, right, especially girls over here, you probably realize that there are an overwhelming amount of guys over there, right? So the ratio for guys-girls ratio in dating sites normally is about 90% to 10%. So we started to gamify that because we want to attract more girls. And today we have about 20% girls, 80% guys, which is considered a very high industry standard. And the claim to fame that we have is, we receive funding on Angel's Gate, which is the Asian version of Dragon's Den Shark Tank. So that's when, we first got some publicity. So I asked a question about serious gaming and gamification because for the past 2 days I've been here, I've seen, in fact, even speakers make the same mistake. They are saying that, oh, I'm gamifying my, we are doing gamification stuff. And I was like, cool, I'm going to sit down here and see what have you gamified. And then what I realized is they're all games, learning games, training games. And with all due respect, gamification and serious gaming are two completely different worlds, right? When you look at the right side, serious gaming, to me, is bigger because it's more matured. Gamification is kind of new in the terminology itself. Gamification has been around since like caveman days, right? Caveman, barbarians, we have been gamifying our life. We go around fighting around with other barbarians. Your wins is the girl, cave woman. So that's the reward. But gamification was first coined by this company called Bunchball in 2007, and I think that was the start of it all. So gamification is, again, to me, it's not about points and badges. I think that's the biggest mistake that a lot of people think, right? And it's not about avid gaming, it's not about edu gaming, definitely not serious gaming, social gaming. I personally think that form is lame. I like Zynga a lot. I think they've done a tremendous job at being a business. But to me, you should be getting people to farm in the real world. So that would be gamification, getting people to farm in the real world, not getting virtual crops, finding lost counts. So to me, gamification has a lot of impact, has a huge potential. So in my own summary, I would call it just a strategy to add fun, engagement, and game design to activities that you usually find very boring. And to me, if gamification is not social, then that's not gamification, right? Nobody plays alone. These days, people all play collective, together with all their friends. It's a very collaborative environment. So I'm going to go really very heavy over here because I'm not going to treat you guys as first-time marketers, people who've heard of gamification for the very first time right over here. So I found this diagram from one of my teammates, and they were doing notes while they were working on. They actually took on a course called Coursera. So any one of you heard of Coursera over here? Right. I would strongly recommend that to learn about gamification. It's amazing. And my teammates actually shared notes with me. I have to admit that I did not attend a single class in Coursera, but my teammates are all on it. So they have been taking down notes for me. And this is a very interesting concept that actually shows how serious gaming and gamification and toys are all different, right? And what I found really intriguing is that gamification can actually be done in parts. So what it really means is you don't have to create a game to have a gamification campaign. You can actually gamify a little bit of the event over here. I mean, if you look at this conference itself, the kind of things that we are gamifying, for example, is to take a photo of you with another ESCO member, right? But we are not making this whole entire thing a game. So that's one example of gamification. And what I found interesting about toys is that toys is all about playing and hold, right? What it means that toys is not a game. And we grow up with toys, right? And what I like about this is, if you separate these 4 quadrants into this format, you can actually have a very clear concept how you should implement your gamification design. So it isn't that new. Like I always say that, Foursquare, the guys who actually brought us sharing our location before Google Latitude, it really take off, right? So before Foursquare, I was sharing my location with my buddy. Hey, and I forgot to turn it off, and one of these days he was like, hey, what are you doing in Orchard Towers? What are you doing in Geylang? I'm like, I'm actually having my food over here, but what made me realize that this is creepy is, there's no incentive for me to share my location. So Foursquare changed the whole ballgame, right? They make it fun and interesting, although not for long, but they managed to solve that problem. And the other campaign that I really want to talk about is McDonald's Monopoly. Justin, which is my designer over there, she would disagree that McDonald's Monopoly is gamification. She thinks that it's a game, but to me it's still gamification, right? Every time you buy a burger, you get a coupon, you tear it off, you're able to pair out with a competing friend to say, hey, can I trade stickers with you? So that's gamification, right? That's the element of collaborative. And to me, school starts September 4th, right? To me, education is the biggest gamification example ever. Just a very badly designed one. There's a leveling, there's a leaderboard, there's points and badges, right? But it seems to be something that you can never get out of. It seems to be a game that you can never get out of. So again, why am I so passionate about gamification? I love the fact that all of us are players, right? David, who's sitting down there, he was a top player in the game yesterday, and everyone's played, right? Even my mom, she's playing the Slot Mania machine game so much more than me, and I'm getting really annoyed. She's like just pressing the button again and again. I'm like, Mom, this is not playing, right? What, you're just pressing a button, and she said, no, this is fun. So you see, all of us are engineered to play. So I want to go through the different examples of how you can actually introduce gamification into the different domains. And engagement, to me, of course, is the natural biggest motivation. So I'm being engaged to run. So I love running, right? I'm very proud to show you over here. I'm preparing for a marathon at the end of this year. This will be my biggest game for 2012, right? I have to complete a 42 kilometers run. And as you can see, I think I'm halfway there. Not halfway there, a quarter there. 10 kilometers under an hour. So you see, gamification and self-quantification goes hand in hand, right? Why do people embrace gamification? Because we love to quantify ourselves. And Runkeeper, which did a very good job in helping me quantify how much I'm running. So on this side, you see another campaign by MediaCorp. MediaCorp is a TV station. Sometimes I call them MediaCorps, right? Because they are not very engaging. They are losing a lot of audience. And that's why they came up with this gamification concept where you can scan QR code on TV every time you watch your TV program. That's a real big problem with this concept or this methodology. Every time the QR code shows up, I can never find enough time to find my phone, right? Load out the QR code scanner and scan it, and by the time I do that, the QR code disappears. So this is one example of a very badly designed gamification campaign. I hope there's no MediaCorp folks over here. So this is a case in point. And I want to talk about marketing. So just to show my respect for Jaslyn, I took away the McDonald's Monopoly slide. I replaced it with this company called ShopKit. So every time you go into the shop, it automatically collects points for you. And these points can be translated to rewards. So that's a very strong form of marketing. And my personal passion is how you can use gamification to actually encourage innovation management. So this is one of the products that we did for a local polytechnic. It's called Neon Polytechnic. And what they do is, we create a whole gamified system where people are sharing ideas how to save Singapore, right? Singapore, to a lot of youngsters, is a country that they cannot identify with. So we created a website for them to share ideas, how can you improve Singapore? And they're actually getting points for that. And again, another of my favorite example, Kias. So Kias is actually being founded by the ads director of Google Health. And what's really interesting over here is they actually gamified eating, they gamified culture building. And I'm a big fan of their product, except I haven't used them, but I think they are up to something, definitely. So any one of you actually use Salesforce in a company? Cool, right? What company is that? Okay, right. So Salesforce actually have a lot of gamification modules that lets you earn points for doing things, right? They let you earn points for closing a deal. They let you earn points for maybe going out for lunch with your boss. I have no idea. But my personal take is you can't gamify sales at all. No, I mean, there's no surprise. What's the biggest reward in a sales? Commission, right? So I don't think there's a need to gamify that. Anyone comes to me and say that I'm going to gamify sale, I'm going to say good luck to you, because I'm a salesperson, and trust me, points and badges doesn't attract me. What attracts me is money. And but at the same time, I don't have a lot of money in my own company, so I have to create a game to incentivize my business staff in the company. And my incentive for them is they can kill me off, right? So I created a game called Kill Keith I Must. And the general concept of this game is, welcome to the world of Game Monkey. It's a double-edged world of the business ninjas, and where you have to do different challenges, and some of them are even inhuman. So I'm going to share with you one inhuman challenge. I actually asked for ideas how to gamify Triumph Bra, right? Because my friend works over there. She came to me and said, "Hey Keith, help us gamify something." I'm like, "I'm sorry, sweetie. I have no idea. I don't know bras enough, right? The only thing I know about them is unhooking them. But that's as far as I know, right?" So she come back to me and say, "Why don't you share the ideas to your whole company?" And there are girls and guys in my company. So we're actually using this to actually gamify and try to incentivize behavior, whether it's on ideas or whether it's to getting 20 name cards in this event. So you can see over here, some of my teammates are based in US, like Mark. So Mark has already called this his day job, collecting name cards based on this challenge. So every time he collected 10 name cards, he actually took a photo and got points for that. So I'm going to move on to more fun facts, right? So innovation management is going to be huge. Gartner actually predicted that 50% of organizations are going to use gamification. And the spend on gamification is going to be about $2.8 billion by 2016. Again, M2 research. And gamification investment in Singapore, I would say relatively about 200,000 or so, all from my own company, right? In US, it's a pretty big industry already. It's about 100 million worth of investments, and close over 4 years. So Batchview, Bunchball, Big Door, all my major competitors, right? So I'm going to actually show a video of my competitor later on. So just to touch up, gamification is not magic. It is a strategy, which like any others must be really well planned. You can't just plug and play. I don't know if you can't plug and play games, you can't plug and play gamification campaigns. And if you don't do it correctly, it will actually backfire on you. It might even make you look very, very lame and desperate. So some of the strategies you can prevent your pistol from backfiring is, if you were to create a gamification campaign, you have to make sure that they're real fun. You have to keep them very, very fresh. And I think gamification must be about teamwork. It must involve teams, right? So I've never watched a single Harry Potter movie in my whole life, right? But I'm told that those students can actually collect points collectively in different houses, and that's a form of gamification as well. So we have actually incorporated this aspect into our own products. And I think creative, intrinsic, and extrinsic rewards are very important, right? I think giving money sometimes is simply not sustainable, right? You're going to burn a hole in your pocket. But if this is a reward that says that you can dunk your own boss and he lands in the water, right? If you hit like 100 points, every 100 points entitles you to a coupon for you to do that. I'll be interested to dunk my CTO, right? And I'm sure the feeling is actually very mutual. So moving on again, right? So as much as all of us are players, right? I can tell you for a fact that all of us will cheat at some point of our life. So I don't believe that none of us here have never cheated ever on anything, right? And the goal to creating a good gamification campaign is not to prevent cheating, but build up a system where people will cheat. So if you know that people will cheat anyway, right, go along with the flow. Try to create something out of that. So I don't have any good examples off my head, but in my own company, I know that people will definitely, I have a game for cleaning up the office, right? And if people are cheating, then that's not the whole point. I don't care if people are cheating. My whole point is I want people to clean up the office. So that's one aspect of gamification modules that you have to think about. So I want to share with you a framework that's actually from our own company, right, on how to create a successful gamification campaign. So we kind of break it up into Gametize. No surprise where this word came from, but we actually changed the word, the alphabet Z to S. So I'm going to start off with the key elements of a good game. So I'll start with generous rewards. So one of the key reasons why I'm going to share with you a case study later on, but it's actually the Ideas Inc. business case competition by NTU. 1,400 completed challenges in under 8 hours. And the first prize is an iPad. The second prize is an iPad. The third prize is iTwin devices. Like, I think there are 10 of them. They're giving away free t-shirts. They're giving away lots of free sunglasses. So definitely it's very generous. I think you have to be generous to create a good campaign, like all other contests. And of course, it has to be very appealing and fresh. And but to me, if you create a gamification campaign that's so damn hard to manage, you're going to run into troubles trying to change content, right? So one of the key difference between like serious gaming and gamification is that gamification is much, much lighter, right? It's definitely not as fun, but it's so much easier to maintain, so much easier to manage. So if your gamification campaign is so damn difficult to manage, you're going to run into trouble giving new content, and that's going to give you more trouble getting freshness. And of course, it has to be so easy and simple to do. You shouldn't be challenging somebody to come up to solve a problem that nobody knows how to solve, right? So it has to be easy. And the key goals of a gamification campaign is very standard. You have to create teamwork, togetherness. You have to create intrinsic motivation, right? You can't keep giving away free prizes. For the SGA, SG application, for us, we are actually very focused on not giving away the tens of dollars of Starbucks voucher. That's not our point, right? Our point is to create an app that help you guys connect to one another, to share and collaborate. So that is actually the intrinsic motivation that we are trying to push out. And of course, there must be social actions, right? People are able to do sharing, on Twitter or on Facebook. And last and foremost, they'll be engaged. So congrats, you just unlocked the Gamification 101 badge. And you might probably be thinking, so cool, so how could I be gamifying my website, my business, my application? So I'm going to share some tools with you. Some of them, my competitors, and some of them myself, right at the bottom, GameMarquee. Right, so Batch View, GitYa, PunchTab are some of those guys, but I'm going to just focus. Another shameless plug. So what is GameMarquee? So GameMarquee is the world's simplest gamification platform that is able to help you to create campaigns very easily, fun and social challenges for prizes. And I wanted to share with you a particular case study that was used to power up this GameMarquee application. So the NTU business case competition was being gamified entirely, all within one day. And some of the matrices that we have collected is 350 participants participated. There are a total of 19 challenges. 2,000 social activities were generated all within 8 hours, right? And there were close to about 1,400 completed challenges, a lot of them QR codes, right? Every time they go around the booths, they'll be scanning QR codes. And we have actually managed to get a total of 1,300 connections made, right? People are using the app to collaborate with one another. People are using the app to find out and discover new interesting guys to connect to. And some of the testimonials that we get is, the organizers say that even before people, she makes the introduction of some people, they actually discovered themselves. And that was a joke that, the company that created this app should actually win the business case competition. And Andrew Jones, one of the participants, actually mentioned that one day all events or conferences are going to be gamified, right? I'm sure Fairuz will agree with me on that, right? So there are some key learning points that we have gotten out from this case study. I think one of it is you have to involve immersive technologies. So that's when I'm going to give a quick plug to Tachiko over there, who has sponsored me the display adapter, right? If you have seen his booth out there, you are able to use RiskTech to actually get points, right? Every time you attend a conference, right? And to me, that's very important, and I was so excited when I met those guys. So we think that the difference between maybe SGA and the business case competition is the lack of the immersive technology. We're lacking that. Because you guys still have to go to a mobile app to manually claim a challenge. But how nice if you can just like scan a QR code every time you think that you want to meet somebody, you want to get his linking connection. And we think that a 360-degree involvement is very important for all stakeholders, right? So the MC Ryan yesterday, every talk, he's like, please download the app. See, so this is one example why gamification can be successful, because you have to keep promoting it. You can't stop there. And I guarantee that past this event, we are going to send you guys a lot of emails, trying to get you guys keep in touch with the application. And you have to give generous rewards for the initial outburst. That's probably missing from this event, but I think we don't have enough time to actually come up with a very, very generous plan reward. Of course, for this event, we want to focus on intrinsic motivation. And I'm going to skip our customization. I think that is very straightforward. But user experience and content is king. So I'm going to prompt you to get the official app and at the mobile stores in iPhone and Android. But there's also a website that you can check it out, gamemarket.com/game/sjsg. So I really hope that you guys can come on board and collaborate with one another to try to promote serious gaming. And I think when great minds come together, you can produce so much magic. So for those guys who are don't have enough battery to download the app, feel free to come by our booth to charge your phone, right? And I just want to end it off telling you that I think you guys are really awesome. This is a very new industry, and I hope you guys can grow this industry together. And again, I strongly recommend that you go and check it out, Coursera, which is a gamification course. I'm going to end on off with one video, so I promise that I'll be showing my competitors' video. And so this video is a batch view video, and it actually shows how you can kind of like collaborate together with each other websites and make API calls to actually collect matrices. So please sit back and relax. Sorry, my bad. So thanks for your attention. I hope that you're able to learn something new about gamification today. So I'm happy to take any questions if you have. Hey, David.
How easy is it to create your own customized version of something like you've done for this conference where you can set challenges to the delegates?
For this event?
Well, for any event.
Any
say
event.
For a new event. So the reason I'm asking is I've got a conference coming up in a couple of 2 weeks in Istanbul, and my role in the conference is to be an icebreaker, bring people together, add extra value to the conference, and a tool like this would be very useful. So just want to know how easy it would be to customize it.
The customization is about 5 minutes.
As long as that.
Sorry?
As long as that.
Yeah, as long as 5 minutes. Our goal is to create a gamification campaign that's so easy to use, because part of the company's vision is to bring a lot more fun to the world, right? This is a company's mantra, by the way. Your life is a game. And for us to be able to do that, we realize that there are a lot of players having fun, but the real key problem is there are not enough games. There's still not enough games, trust me. A lot of good games. So in order to be able to do that, we want to empower people to spend as little time as possible to create games, because getting an app to the App Store, these days takes about a month to get reviewed, right? So we want to be able to cut down this amount of time by cutting down the development time. So that's our focus on. Yeah, we should talk. Totally. Right, so I'll be around near the booth. My contacts are over here, and I would, my slides are on my slide share, so you can go and check it out. So thanks so much for your time, and it's a pleasure to meet all of you. Thank you.